Video log. Because maybe this is going to be for the video logs, probably not for the broadcasting unless I change it otherwise. Price of freedom, cost of it. We can make cartoons about it, we can tell shows about it, we can talk about the damn thing. It's still there. It is still the 25th of Sunday, and it is almost 5:30 at night, Pacific Standard Time. Upon finishing the series of Liberty Kids, trying to grasp a better handle of freedom, liberty, what it means to be American. You watch all the cartoons, television shows, write stories, books, all sorts of media that we can use to put it into words, song, motion. But it all depends upon the individual interpretation of it, isn't it? For some people, when the country started, there wasn't any freedom. And it took a long while and a split of the country to realize freedom should have been meaning for everybody. And then more realizations that were harsh to deal with and harsh to go through in the first place to understand that freedom's going to be there. It's got to mean freedom for everybody. And the problem is it wasn't. Because it's taken us over 260. That's a lot of time. Well over my lifetime. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell civil rights is all about, not to mention what freedom means to everybody coming in here, including for the immigrants who are still struggling to be part of a country that is still tearing itself apart to this day. And we still haven't got it right. We still haven't even understand what the hell the damn thing means in the first place. No matter how many times we keep telling ourselves or singing to ourselves or humming to ourselves, writing about ourselves or whatever it is, whatever kind of format we're trying to do and trying to examine this damn thing, we still can't figure it out. We think we know, but we don't know. We think we understand the deeper meanings of what it is to be patriotic, and then it turns out to be fanaticism, and you're supporting one particular lunatic with a political party and a political agenda of himself, more elitism. And no wonder people are freaking out concerning about communism and socialism taking over, and that the Democrats and liberals are going to be turning us into socialists. But we conservatives are the true Americans, the true patriots. Oh yeah, the true patriots at this point over here keeping people enslaved like crazy, but the rich people get more richer and they own a hell of a lot more and control a hell of a lot of people. And what we're doing right now is we're still seeing that these days. And if we're going to be following the theories of Karl Marx at this point over here, scary concepts, because the concepts our country was supposed to be evolving into was "Land of the free, home of the brave," what the taglines are supposed to be, and yet we're supposed to have laissez-faire capitalists at this point over here, but without checks and balances going on left and right, we're losing a lot, and we're still evolving, and we're still arguing with each other over the damn thing. Even seeing the cartoon Liberty Kids are trying to show what things are supposed to be like. And we should see all the docudramas coming out from the Revolutionary War figureheads of how they were trying to form our country from 13 individual colonies into a theoretical United States of America. And with a more expanded territories, we take a civil war and we're trying to kill ourselves and try to get ourselves more and more defined while kicking people out left and right, or mistreating people left and right. The more I keep learning more about the ugliness of the damn history at this point over here, the more I'm convinced mankind's really screwed up in the head. Power hungry, egotistical, and sorry sons of bitches in the first place. And yes, I did say that. Only because we never did understand what the hell the concepts and freedoms were supposed to be. We thought we did, but it's taken us millenniums just to understand that slavery is bullshit. And freedom is cost. A lot of cost in it. And you have to shed blood every time. Just to make sure the other guy is going to have his freedom. You have to self-sacrifice for a country. For the causes, for the principles. Despite the fact you've got another group out there who still wants the money, the power, the glory, the ego. And hell with the little guy. Have we ever learned anything? Did we ever learn anything? Are we going to learn anything? And at this point, what are we going to do? The closer it gets to November 3rd, which is it's not exactly set in stone, but it's still set in Congress, of the election day of our president, and maybe if you elected House of Representatives, and not to mention certain Senate races out there. This is supposed to change a hell of a lot. And we're just getting past the census. Census was cut short, which means representation is going to be screwed up like crazy in our states. Because we didn't get an exact counting of how many people we've got. And the thing is, because we got Electoral College still in effect at this point over here, it all depends upon the population density of the states compared to the geographical ones. I think I talked about this one in certain videos somewhere out there. Electoral College only gives you certain representatives in each state as long as we got an accurate population report every 10 years. Cut it short. Less electoral votes, less power your state has to overturn elections, and less money. It screws things up left and right that we've depended on population density at this point. And because of certain decisions out there just to keep their political power at this point, it's going to be messing around with our damn budgets like crazy for years on end. Not to mention the political power streams are looking at short term. They're not even looking at the damn long term at this point. I thought I'd never seen a more contentious election cycle than I have this one or last time. But the last time we didn't see that much activity of really trying to kill each other left and right in the videos and the commercials out there to tell each other that our side is better than yours, so it's going to be us versus them at this point. But in the last 4 years, it's gotten even worse at this point over here, because now you got the elements coming out there and saying, well, we got the skull thumpers here, we're going to beat the living crap out of you if you don't believe in our particular cause, and if you're not worshiping our particular candidate over here, bang bang on top of your head, or one way or another, you're going to cooperate. And if not, it's always the if nots, isn't it? So the question is, what the hell is our principles and what the hell is our founding? What does it all mean? I mean, for everything that we fought and died for, all of our loved ones, ancestors, generations prior to that, including the ones that started the country in the first place, the ones that came over sick, dying, death, disease, trying to keep a country alive, or actually form their own individual colonies because their own damn countries didn't give a shit about them. But they also brought in death and disease, or was trying to wipe out everybody else they came in contact with and didn't even realize it. Smallpox was one of those big favorite diseases out there. Europeans would get the immunity, but everybody else would get screwed over if they never had contact with the damn thing. So there goes the Native American population right there. And it also starts the highest little war with everybody. Gotta love European conquest, I swear. But it goes earlier than that. Way earlier than that. You take it up a notch, or take it back several notches, thousands and thousands of years. Have we ever learned anything? Do we still know anything? What is it going to be like another 1,000 or 2 years? 1,000 or 2,000 years from now? Are we still going to be United States of America? Are we going to be global Earth? Are we actually going to have a global universe of some sort? Are we going to have a United Federation of Planets or galaxies? Or are we going to be a smoking cinder at this point over here, still throwing rocks at each other? Mutated forms still trying to battle over clods of Earth. And then wake up to the fact that the sun goes nova, and then we're screwed. I don't have the answers. I'm not a soothsayer. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you that. The future's always depending upon our decisions that we make today, but based on facts that we've learned today and also in the past. See, the past does affect the future. I mean, you gotta put things into context. Whatever we keep learning about the past usually affects us in the present, which will be affecting the future. So everything is relative. But are we going to be able to figure things out at this point over here, or are we going to start killing each other left and right just for the fun of it? Quite frankly, I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't understand it all. Because if we're still going to be screwed over left and right, either you're going to be a patriot and fighting for your damn cause, or else you're going to be rolled over and then used for manure for someone else's farms, or you're going to be part of someone else's workforce. One way or another. Scary concept. We are fighting for our political lives and our future at this point over here. The people have gone so damn polarized with their damn sides and they're polarized. There's no other way to describe it. There seems to be no way of uniting us unless we go through another civil war of sorts. And that's what scares the living crap out of me, is we're going to be going through another war. And if we're going to be going into another fucking war, I don't even want to see the damn thing. If we're going to be going into a nuke fest, I want to be one of the first to die in it. Because I don't want to live in a damn future like that. I sure as hell don't want to live in a radioactive Earth at this point over here because of stupidity decided that our country, our world should be nuked. Because we couldn't be united in something at this point. We had to be divided and divided and divided until the point where everything else and everyone else is out for themselves. And we're going to get nuked one way or another. Either by radiation or by bullets at this point over here, or else we're going to get someone else's political feedback all the damn time, ready to brainwash people. Here, we got new attire for you to wear. And look at this nice, lovely color over here. Meanwhile, swear a fealty. Swear an oath of loyalty. Consider me a blithering idiot. A blathering one because of this stuff. United we stand. Divided we fall. We've already fallen, we just don't know it. Do we know how to get back to our roots again? Do we know how to get back up again? Do we actually know how to help each other up without trying to knock the other guy down so we can get up first? Shit. Does everything have to be a frickin' confrontation with us and a competition? A contest? We always have to be first. We all cannot cross the line at the same time. Is it possible we can actually do this to ourselves? Scratch off the name United, put in divided, and we're the divided states of whatever the hell we are anymore. Because quite frankly, we're losing the name America. We're losing the spirit and everything else revolving around. It doesn't matter if you're throwing out the red, white, and blue colors at this point over here. Unless you know, unless you have context. But what do they want to know? Why did you people fight like hell a long time ago for freedom if you're valuing tyranny at that point? If you're valuing central government from across the waters that's going to be ruling your ass left and right, and we're still doing it right now as it is. Today it's called Russia. Hooked in with China. And we've got them controlling our government. You're going to ask, prove it. I said, we've already had the proof going a long time ago, especially when they started interfering in our elections and screwing around and gave us a leader that's absolutely worthless at this point over here. And yes, it means I'm taking sides. It's an observation, but yeah, I'm taking sides at this point over here. Because when I see a leader of our favorite country bowing down to the other tyrants and worshiping them, thinking they're strong, they have no respect, they have no credibility. They're not even considered citizens of this country anymore. They're more like, you might as well be the tyrants yourselves. And look what happened a long time ago. We threw out tyrants when we got sick and tired and pissed off about it. Now, instead of using musket balls, we bring up the pen, we bring up the paper, we bring up the pencils that fill out ballots left and right. We put a scribble, we put a thumbprint, we put whatever it is, but we make an indication in the power of voting. Our musket balls, our Minutemen, our Continental Army. Our Continental Army, our Minutemen are the American people. Hopefully with sound enough judgment to actually finish the civil and revolutionary war that we're combining it into two during this election time. And yes, I'm using those kind of terminology at this point over here because this is exactly what we're dealing with right now. We are in a civil war against each other at this point over here. We've got patriots versus the Tory. And if anybody has been studying U.S. history, you ought to know the references right there. Who's the king? Who's the country? And who's the rebels? And how do you look at yourself? Either you're a freedom fighter or you're a terrorist, depending on which side you're looking at. A political science professor taught me that one. At this point, the election is going to be the battleground. It's going to be the battle zone. It's going to be the war. And it's going to be ongoing until we actually swear in another president in January. And when we do swear in another president in January, I hope to God that this president is going to have his head out of his ass and has a clear enough conscience and a clear enough vision for us, and hopefully ready to get us, at least using duct tape on everybody, put us back together again. Not crazy glue, chewing gum and baling wire. Because if we don't have any of that, we're not going to call ourselves a country anymore. We won't have a country. We won't be able to look ourselves in the eye, and we won't be able to look into the mirror is that I'm grateful and I'm proud to be an American. All I hear is traitorous talk. All I hear is people saying, "You're a traitor for talking about that way." Nope. Because the First Amendment guarantees that I have the freedom to say whatever I need to and whatever I want. But there's always a consequence and there's always a price, though. There's always the boomerang effect. That's the one thing people keep forgetting these days. Whatever we keep boasting out there, whatever we keep saying will eventually come back and haunt our ass. But we have the freedom and the luxury to say that because we're supposed to be given that right in the Constitution of the United States, the First Amendment. It's part of the Bill of Rights. People are taught it, but they're not taught it. They are shown, they are presented, but they are not gone over. That's why I keep telling people, go to college, go to high school, take a government class. I mean, if you're a teenager and you may have gotten political science or government class, learn. If you're a damn adult, go to community college at least. Don't even go to the damn university. Just go to a community college. You talk to a political science or a history professor. Political science is better. Bare bottom basics of what our country is supposed to be and what the process is supposed to be. And what all of the Constitution is supposed to mean. And what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you, the readers at this point, the viewers of all of these damn video logs, called vlogs? Damn terminology. Do we understand? I mean, do you actually understand what's going on? I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. And I haven't read anything. I deal with the mute. I deal with the zombies. And it's just not fair. If I could put this on damn Facebook, and people would be freaking out about it. And still, I will get zombies because they are asleep in their heads. They are seeing what's happening, but they're foggy-brained. And they don't care. And that's what pisses me off even further. You dare call yourself an American. You better come back to me instead of waving a damn flag. You better wave to me with principles that you believe in and principles you're willing to fight for. You're willing to debate about, that you're willing to argue about. If you understand what this damn country is all about, you better give a good reason and a good explanation. Otherwise, don't talk to me ever again on this shit. Unless you're willing to come stand with me, despite having differences. Unless you're willing to stand with a guy who's going to be carrying a flag that says, "Don't tread on me." That has mentions about the 13 colonies. How was nice and easy to bring those guys up. But until you understand what the hell was going on back then, don't talk to me about it. Do not.